guys, it's Miss J. I hope that you're doing well. This is the flute tutorial for your concert B flat major scale and your F major scale. Will be coming up after this video. So real quick guys, right now we have learned 3 scales in beginning band. We've learned concert B flat, we've learned concert F, and we learned concert E flat based out of our Standard of Excellence Red Book. So the 2 scales that I want to talk to you about today are out of your Red Book that we've already done and we've already been tested on. So the first one I want you to look at is exercise 88. Okay, exercise 88, your concert B flat scale. We've done this 100 times, so I want to go ahead just to review it together. We're only going to just review the top line. Do not worry about reviewing the bottom line. So let's go ahead together and let's play that top line. Okay, here we go. 1 and 2 and ready, number 1. And then also too, just double, triple check. Make sure you're playing the right key signature. Check your key signature. We have B flat and E flat in your key. We do not play A flat, so flutes, make sure that you're playing A natural, okay? A natural on the way up and on the way back down, okay? There is an attachment to this assignment that I need you to make sure you print out at home. It is titled 1 Octave Scales. It's a PDF of all the scale sheets for all the instruments. I only want you to worry about the one that's particular for flute, okay? So your job is to make sure it's printed out before you complete the rest of this lesson, because I'm going to be referencing that, okay? So let's take a look at this scale sheet that I had you print from home. Just like this. So let's look at your scale sheet. So we are going to make sure we are just focusing on concert B flat major. So let's look down here. We have all the titles of the scale. So G, C, F major. There is B flat. So that's number 1 on your scale sheet. We're just going to focus on B flat major. If you look here, look at the similarities and differences. Okay, there's lots of similarities to exercise 88. Okay, this whole chunk right here is exactly the same as exercise 88, okay? What is different about this particular scale when you compare it and contrast it with exercise 88? If you said this portion here, this end tag here, you are correct. Remember on the second line of 88, we were doing the arpeggio. Well, the book does the arpeggio a little differently than the Florida standards require us to do. So that's why I'm teaching you this version of the scale due to the Florida standards. So if you look here in the last 3 bars, the arpeggio is going to be a lot different. You notice the arpeggio for this particular scale is made up of the 1st note, the 3rd note, the 5th note, and the 8th note, or the top note of your scale. That's all the notes that the arpeggio is in. And then you look coming back down, it's also the 5th note, the 3rd note, and then the 1st note of the scale. It doesn't jump around like the Red Book had you do, okay? Just look at this. So here's what we're going to do. Here's what I want you to do with me. We're going to play all of this together with the arpeggio, okay? And then we'll go back and we'll just work on the arpeggio to make sure that we get that and that fingering together, okay? So here we go. We're going to do the scale on the scale sheet, and we're actually going to do the actual arpeggio that the state requires us to do. Let's do it together. Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and... All right, I hope you survived that. So let's break down just the arpeggio portion. That's the last 3 measures of your scale sheet that I gave you, okay? So let's break it down. We have the first note, the third note, the 5th note, and then the 8th note of your scale as the arpeggio. So let's just play the first note. Ready? First note of the scale. Now play the third note, which is your D. Now play the 5th note, which is your F. And let me hear your high B flat. Now let's work backwards and go down. Here's your F. Here's your D. And then now here's your B flat. Now, let's just do that arpeggio as written, half note, quarter, quarter. Let's do that together. Ready? Just the arpeggio, the last 3 bars of your scale sheet. 2 and ready and... All right. If you're having trouble going from like B flat to D to F to the high B flat, if you're having any issues, I recommend just playing one note at a time and really just get the fingerings down, like B flat, D, F, and then high B flat, making sure you're getting those down individually, and then trying to do the arpeggio as written, okay? Once you are done doing that, the Florida state standards also want us to start increasing our tempo a little bit with our scale, okay? So we played it at the original tempo that we did at the beginning of this lesson. So once you're able to do the whole scale plus the arpeggio at the tempo we just worked at 3 times, not 2, 3 times in a row, right? Because the rule is if you can do it 3 times in a row, you got it solid, right? Once you get it done 3 times in a row with no mistakes, then I want you to start slowly increasing the tempo of your scale, okay? So let's say I played all 3 times perfectly in a row and I'm ready to learn how to do it a little bit faster, I'm gonna do this. I'm a human being and I made a mistake, so sorry about that, but you get the idea as far as how fast I should be taking this new tempo. And so once you're able to do it at that faster tempo, again, 3 times in a row, then you can start moving to another faster tempo. Eventually, I want it to be played like this. Focus on that, getting it up to that tempo if you possibly can. It's actually, to be honest with you, it's at the tempo where we're doing a really fast 4, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or when you're counting, you could think of it as cutting every single note in half. We call that cut time. So your half note becomes a quarter note. Your quarter notes now become 1/8 notes, all right? So I want you to go ahead and I want you to practice your concert B flat scale this week, but I want you to make sure you're doing it in the FBA form, because the FBA form is what you're going to be using for any all-county auditions, any all-state auditions down the road. You're also going to use that as your audition piece for me to get out a beginning band. And I ask that you guys do it in the FBA requirement, not the requirement or the format that you guys see it in your red Standard of Excellence book. So that is the goal for this week. I want you to work on your concert B flat major scale in the FBA form. And then when you feel comfortable, then I want you to go back and record yourself doing it. And then I want you to upload it to the Google Classroom for the assignment, or underneath the assignment that I have posted for that particular scale. And if you have any questions or you're having any issues, please email me and I will figure something out so we can chat and walk you through it. Good luck, and I'll see you in a second for the F major scale.